Okay, I can't hear it. Hi. Welcome to the August segment of the show Authors, Writers, Books, and Beyond. I am your faithful hostess, Kathy Boyd Fellure. I'm a local Ionian these days, and you are coming into the Jackson station. I have guests that I'll be introducing to you in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you first about Hine & Company bookstore, and right next door here on Main Street, and that is where my critique group meets to share our writing. And it's a phenomenal place, 2 stories, currently under construction upstairs. Wolf is creatively building since he opened Baker Street West, which is a phenomenal place for you Sherlockian fans out there. There's a pub. They opened Mrs. Hudson's Tea Room, and that's where my group meets outside the little tea shop where the tables are, surrounded by wonderful books. And so we have a wonderful time over there. You should check it out. Make plenty of time to go in and visit. It is not just a bookstore. They have movies and calendars, Victoriana. They have costumes, and they have steampunk. So check it out and see if you're interested in something. Wolf and Linda and their the sons Brian and Eric run the store, and they'll help you with anything. So we're going to get into the show. I'd like to introduce my guests. I've had Antoinette on before. Over here on my right, this is Antoinette May Herndon. She is an author that lives up in McCollum Hill. She's a New York Times bestseller with her book Pilot's Wife, and my personal favorite, The Sacred Well. And she just got delivery before she came here today of her newest release. I believe it's September 29th. Yes, The Determined Heart. And that is the tale of Mary Shelley and her Frankenstein. Antoinette, can you share a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, I live in McCollum Hill. I've lived here for the last 10 years with my husband. I was originally from Southern California and Palo Alto. I've always written since I was, before I really literally could write, I dictated stories to my mother. Very fortunately, she liked stories and encouraged me. I was very lucky. And I've been writing ever since.
And you're a journalist, too.
Yes, I really came to fiction writing out of originally writing feature stories for newspapers, and then becoming a newspaper editor, and then writing magazine articles, and they led to biographies, and then ultimately I made a switch once I came up to the Gold Country to fiction, and I don't think I'll ever go back to nonfiction.
It's
too much fun making things up.
It is. Little voices in our head. Well, thank you. And Antoinette also runs an annual writers' conference up in Moke Hill the first weekend in every month of May.
Yes.
And it's what we call a boutique conference.
Yeah.
It's craft-oriented, and it's limited to about 50 people.
That's right.
So you need to sign up early, even as early as now if you want for next year.
It's April 29, 30, and May 1st this coming year, 2016.
A wonderful conference. She offers a lot of what you really can't always get elsewhere. A lot of pitch conferences are popular. This is more intimate, and there's a lot of camaraderie and networking and new friendships.
Yeah, a lot of networking and a lot of individual attention to the craft of writing. It's not as competitive as some other conferences are.
You can relax a little.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm going to go over to my left here to Nancy Ann Woody. And Nancy has a new book out last year, Tears and Trombones. I actually heard you read a chapter out of that at the conference, didn't I?
You did.
Yes, I did this year.
Yes, you did.
You want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. My name is Nancy Lee Woody, and I live in Rockland. And I am ostensibly retired. I have been writing, though. I mean, I spent 8 years writing this book. And before that, the big work of fiction that I wrote was a musical that I wrote with my husband, who was a musician. So we wrote a musical called Hello to Life and produced it in Sacramento, and it was like the most fun thing I've ever done. I just loved doing that. And I wrote textbooks when I taught at American River College for my whole life, really. I was a dean of business there, and I wrote textbooks in accounting and math. So I learned to be very, very particular about what letters and words. I mean, you cannot make a mistake in an accounting problem, for example. So I did a lot of writing, but I didn't do any fiction until just like in the last 15 years.
So it's new to you too?
It's new to me, and I really love it, and I think about it all the time. I write poetry, short stories. I've had some short stories published lately, and I've had some poetry published lately. I can't decide what it is I want to do, I guess.
So are you what we call genre hopping?
I just can't make up my mind about what I love the most.
Well, it's fun.
So, it's fun, yeah.
It's
It's
an
fun. I
adventure.
enjoy it, and so
Well, congratulations. I enjoyed that chapter.
thank you. I might read it again.
I'm going to go over to the far end, to Lane. And you are from,
Originally from northeastern Oregon,
and currently living
in the Bay Area, Redwood City.
So this is Lane Atkinson, and can you share with TV Land a little about yourself?
Sure, I was, again, born and raised in northeastern Oregon, where my first and only novel is based. I really didn't begin writing until I semi-retired in 2010. I worked in industry and manufacturing for about 37 years, and when I retired, I decided to pursue one of two passions. One was writing, the other is music. I published my first novel last year, Steiner's Cash, and I also, at that time in 2010, began playing in a classic rock and roll band that we play locally
Pretty
in the
big.
Jackson and Ione area.
Yeah, favorite band around here.
My part of that is I play bass and do backup vocals.
And the name of that band is?
30 years after.
Yeah, everybody out there probably recognizes that. So that's quite a spread of wings to go into music and fiction.
It's interesting. I found that in writing I've been able to incorporate other passions I've had in the past, history, treasure hunting, a little bit of paranormal, which I was sharing
With Antoinette.
with our co-person here, and so it's really interesting to be able to integrate those things and bring some of your own life experiences to really bring the novel to the storyline much more to life.
So are you a big historical researcher?
Yes.
Yeah, you're in good company.
Yes.
Antoinette and I go to Sacramento to the SAC, Historical Novel Society, for meetings. A wonderful group of people. We're little historical researchers too. Kind of hooked. So I have a question before we go on. Writing fiction, and do you just play or do you write music too?
When I was young, I did write a little bit. I actually played with a group called the Lord's Prayer Trio when I was in high school.
Oh.
And we did some of our own original music, but I've not done any since then.
Since then. I wonder, do you think you might again?
I doubt it. I think my passion is more in fiction right now.
Yeah, it kind of gets hooked, huh? You get hooked.
Absolutely.
So we have three wonderful novelists, and new book coming out for you too in spring of next year.
Mhm.
And the title,
That one's called Wolf Trap.
can you tell us a little about it?
Much darker than this one. It's basically a story based on current headlines, specifically terrorist activity,
Oh, okay.
and the fight against that.
So it's very pertinent to the time, which is getting a little darker anyway.
All the time.
Yeah.
It is.
Every day.
Truth, yeah, every day. Well, welcome to all of you. Antoinette's kind of a alumni. You guys are newbies. Welcome.
We're freshmen.
Unless you want to dance on the table, you're pretty good, okay? It's pretty low key here. Well, we have a few minutes before we have to break. Looks like we have 2 minutes. So I would like to also ask you guys just your passion at this point in your life. Antoinette's already shared a little how hers has gone in another direction. You did too. Actually, you did too. Do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your days?
I do.
Yeah.
Between my wife and I, we've got a lot of ideas that we'd like to incorporate into stories. The one after Wolf Trap will be a series of stories based on both of our fathers and their experiences in World War II.
Oh, wonderful, more
Interesting.
history.
Yeah.
You too, you're going to keep going in this direction?
Absolutely. I've already started my next book, and it's a memoir, but fictionalized, and I'm presenting it as short stories. But it will be based upon my life, but it's going to be told through somebody else. Like I have a story about my brother and a story about my sister, and then I'll tell the whole story that way.
That way.
Yeah, and I really love doing it. And I don't have enough time right now to write. I'm so
Isn't that the
frustrated.
truth?
Yeah.
That is such the truth. But we
Yeah.
have just under a minute, and I know what you're working on, so I'll leave you to tell whatever you want to.
Okay, a story about voodoo, and takes place in Haiti. And I'm researching it and beginning to write it now.
And you just went there.
Yes,
She
just
just
came
made a
back
trip.
from there. Yeah, my husband and I had a marvelous time in the Caribbean
I'll
a
bet.
couple of months ago, and yeah, I'm going to call it research, but it was fun.
Sometimes research is fun,
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
it's
yeah.
work.
It's always work.
I think it's a work of joy, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to take a little break here, but I'll leave you with that. You will be coming back to see all of us in about 3 minutes, so see you then. Thanks for joining us.